minute, don't know. Got a minute of your time. Got a minute of your.
Hush up, gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. Sad when no one's to be found. What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind? Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even.
I can't, but you are on edge. You are definitely on edge.
Welcome to our podcast.
Today is going to be a very interesting podcast.
First of all, let's just start off by welcoming everyone.
I'm just saying, I want everybody to get ready because you are in for a treat. You are in for a show. That's all I'm saying.
Our podcast name is From Vision to Success, where we talk all things. And we talk a lot about our messy middle sometimes. I came in and I don't know why I'm feeling a little bit on edge.
I do have an idea as to why.
I'm interested to hear.
I don't know if I want to call you out in public, though.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Do you really want to hear it, though?
I'm interested to kind of see what you think it is.
So, okay. You know that I read people well. Right?
That's what you think, yes.
No, that's what I do know.
Okay.
100%.
Tell me.
Right?
I'm interested. Tell me.
I don't want to call you out, dude. I don't want to call you out.
Because I think I know why I'm on edge.
I think I know why too.
Tell me why I'm on edge.
I'm probably more right than you. I know why.
All right, let's see. So tell me, do enlighten me.
The what?
Do enlighten me. Go ahead. Why am I on edge?
Enlighten you.
Yeah, you got to enlighten me.
No.
Because maybe I just don't know why I'm on edge and I need to hear this.
Oh, remember that we have to look at the camera, right?
I know. Last time we were like this, looking everywhere but the camera. So now we know exactly where we need to look at.
Yeah. So the thing is about the setup here is that you got the monitor. So that we have a monitor right beside us right here. And then the camera is right in front. And so instead of looking at the camera, last time we were looking at the monitor the entire time.
So we're like looking over there.
Yeah, we weren't even making eye contact with the people. But yeah.
Anyway, welcome.
So anyway, yeah, welcome to Vision to Success, where...
Okay, I'll tell you why I'm on edge, and then you can see if that's what you're thinking.
No, because... No. If anything, I would like to tell you first.
Okay, go. Then tell me. I would like to know. Because really, I feel that I'm on edge because I have those sensations. Like, my body is... I have a little bit of an increased heart rate. There's like a coolness to my body right now. And what else would I say? Like a tightness around my throat, almost. So that's the sensations that I feel when I'm on edge. What would you say? Okay, so now tell me why.
I don't know. Everybody experiences on edge differently, right?
Exactly.
But I think you're on edge. Okay, so you sure you want me to call you out?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
No,
I want to hear
then
it.
we're gonna be fighting in front of our children, and it's just like.
Okay, tell me. I want to know why I'm on edge. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me.
You literally right before we started, you're like, if anybody was to ever call me out, whatever, I would like, it's fighting words. And I'm like, now you're telling me to call you out on why you're on.
No, it's not. Okay, go ahead. I was just, half of it was a joke. What's funny that when you were telling me about so Miguel told me this experience about being around someone he's very close to. And telling this particular person who's very close to, being like,
Tegan.
We love Tegan, right? I just didn't want to, and say, tell me how you'd feel. I think a man and a woman's response would be different. But he told Tegan, what did you say? Okay. I don't like your energy.
No, I didn't say that. So there was a morning where she was on edge.
Yes.
Right, like and rightfully so, right? Like rightfully so. But she, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was happening, and I was about to jump on a call, or I was about to, and I was already busy as well, right?
Okay.
My busyness required me to leave the family, like to go down here to the office and work and send a bunch of emails, jump on a call and all that stuff. Her business was getting the things ready for the kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We had an event coming up, And then I'm like, how can I help with this event? Right before I left her, right? I was
Yes.
like, okay, I know that we have something coming up. How can I help with this? So this
Yeah.
was a Friday to a Saturday.
Yes.
And then she didn't snap, but then she started answering me kind of like edgy, right? And so I was just like, okay, time out. I'm like, I get it. You're not in the right headspace right now. I'm super busy. I'm about to go jump in a meeting where I need a positive energy. And so I can tell that this is not going to be a productive conversation. So I'm just going to leave you right now. I'm going to go downstairs. When you're ready to talk, come downstairs and then we can continue the conversation. And then I left.
Okay, so this is where I was, because even as we go through this communication tools, right? In one of the communication tools that we're doing, it says to use I statements, right?
I don't believe in that.
And
I don't. There are certain times when you can use the I statement, but anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was like, sorry, like to my mind, I was when he said, "You're not." What is it? You're not in there.
I can see that you're not in the right headspace right now.
I was like, and she didn't get upset, and he's like, no, and I was like, don't talk to me that way. I didn't say it that way, but I was like,
No, you did say exactly that.
I did not
don't
say
you
that.
ever don't talk to
No,
me.
I was like, okay, when I'm on edge, let's say we are not in the right headspace, and he's like, I'm not taking blame for that.
I'm not. I don't.
Okay,
I don't believe. And see, and here, and I know that we are, and maybe this can be a part of today's conversation. Please let us know what you guys think. But I'm a firm, and I don't want to say I'm a firm believer, but I'm a big time believer. Like, there are times where it's we, and I get it.
Or yeah, okay.
There are times where it's we, but if it's like, it's rightfully so that I'm the calm one, and you're the one that's. Why would it be like, okay, I can see that we are not talking, like we're not in the right head. No, like let's call the BS for what it is, and a spade's a spade, and just be like, but now here's the thing is,
Okay.
Here's the thing is, and please chime in, right? Also, it's the delivery,
Yeah.
right? It was like, well, you're screwed up, and so I'm gonna leave until you're right, whatever. And then if that I don't agree with.
It was a more gentle delivery. I guess.
It was like, and be like, listen.
I guess it was a more that I had to be there to witness it, as opposed to when he told the story.
Well, it's literally word for word.
Yeah.
Because this is the one thing that I'm learning about myself lately. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
Yep.
So
It's the tone.
yeah, it's the tone, right? And actually, and Tegan was the one that called me out on it, right? She's like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. What's the meaning behind with what you say? So I've been taking a more gentle approach in telling the truth, right? And so in this particular case, I was very gentle. And I was like, listen, I go, I'm super busy. Like, I'm going downstairs and I need to be positive. I can tell that you're not in the right headspace. Right.
I think it's the choice of words for me. But hey, Tegan was okay with it, so by all means.
But I'm letting you know right now, if we ever engage
right, 'cause
in conversation,
I was just gonna turn around and be like, sorry, what?
you're not Maria. And let's reverse it, right? If let's not reverse it, but let's go.
If it was you.
No. If it was the exact same scenario,
Okay.
I'm trying to have a gentle conversation with you, and you're like, booyaka shock, and I'm like, okay, honestly, Maria, I can see that you're not ready or you're not in the right headspace. Why don't we explore this conversation in 10 minutes? Why don't we go our separate ways? Let's calm. Let's relax.
Oh my gosh.
And-
I
and-
feel
and I'm saying-
agitated already thinking about that.
And I'm saying let's. I'm saying the word let's.
Yeah, you're saying let's.
Let's.
Because I'm not in the right headspace.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not me.
All right. Let's we'll keep you posted. If we ever have a conversation like that, we'll see what happens.
Well, we're gonna have it right now
What do you mean?
because you're not in the red headspace.
No,
You're
I
edgy.
am. I was. This is what. Oh, are you gonna tell me why you thought I was on edge, or should I just?
I can feel daggers like coming across the table. I'm not even joking. You have to
There's
be here.
no daggers.
You-
In all honesty, there's no daggers. There's no daggers. Okay, let me tell you why. Do you want me to tell you why or no?
I think I know why.
Okay, go. Then tell me.
Okay. I love you. You're amazing,
Okay.
right? And you are a phenomenal business co-host partner and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Okay. And I know that you hate disappointing people, especially me, because
Sorry. I'm so sorry. That was for real. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Holy
Sorry.
Well, you know my pet peeves.
Yes, I do know your pet peeves, and they
Right?
do stress me out when I do them.
I know that. I know
Yeah.
they do, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Disappointing in that sense, right?
Okay.
So I know that you know my pet peeves, and I know that when one of those pet peeves are triggered, you're like, oh crap.
I feel stressed.
Yeah, you feel like, oh man, like I'm disappointing. And this is not just me, but it's when you care about someone and you know that you're about to do something or something's happening that's costing the other person, whether it's a friend, a best friend, whether it's your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. If you're actively doing something that's causing them to like hit one of those triggers, it's gonna cause stress back on you because you're doing it, right? And it's like, I'm the cause of that person's stress. So
Okay.
you know my triggers,
Okay.
right? Which is people being late and being called out in public, whatever. And so when that gets hit, because of our friendship and our relationship, it starts to like get you agitated and just like, oh man. And so it does put you on edge because you're afraid that I'm annoyed or I'm upset or I'm whatever. And so knowing that, you feel it's going to cause tension between us.
Can I be honest though? That's not the reason why I'm on edge today.
Cool. All right. There you go. All righty then. Welcome to Vision to Success, where we talk about everything in between from vision to success.
And the messy middle. And sometimes we're wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. And there's a couple of things that's happened this morning to you.
It was just, you know what, my schedule, even though I still got up at the same time. So
Yeah.
I'm getting up at 4:30 in order to be able to like fulfill the commitments that I have, right?
Yeah.
Today, usually Miguel and I have a meeting between 6 to 7. I wasn't able to fulfill it, right? I did message you.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I was like, oh, dang it. Like, I did have that feeling of, oh, dang it.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, the reason why I feel like I'm on edge is because I didn't get to my schedule the way that I had planned it.
Right.
So there was, I feel like maybe I wasn't as flexible as I needed to be in the morning because by the time I left my house, it was way later than I anticipated. And I was feeling stressed. And what I try to do when I'm leaving my house way later than I anticipated is that I say, what is it? Is slow is fast? No, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Because in all honesty, when I feel stressed, I end up making mistakes and it takes me longer.
Right.
So I have to mentally settle my mind, settle everything. And then I was driving my mom to an appointment, which was totally okay. We had a conversation. But I think in the midst of the conversation, hitting traffic, and all that, that's why I became on edge. So that is why.
Well, yeah, but it's I was right. So it's because you're disappointed. And I don't want to say disappointing, but you felt like
No, it was my schedule.
I know.
It was, in all honesty, it was the fact that I get up at 4:30.
Scheduled to whom though?
To myself. It's my accountability to myself, in all honesty. This is what it is, because that's what I've been working on.
If we didn't have the meeting this morning, if we weren't supposed to have the meeting or this podcast, would you still feel the way that you felt?
Yes.
Probably not.
No, I do. So this is why. Because when
You're watching this live right now.
No,
this
and
unfold.
this is what I'm telling you. Like, my morning routine is so important to me.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, that when there is a shift in that morning routine or something happens, that I feel stressed. Because part of my morning
But
routine.
you did your workout.
No, I did my workout. I
Right.
did, with the exception of a couple of things, I did do everything.
Okay.
But it was just, I felt like I was always running out of time. So it was like I was rushing to the next, and I was rushing to the next, and I was looking at the time and going and going and going. And the other thing too is that I have kids, right?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Like
no
4
way.
kids.
How many?
Anyway, and I'm very particular about the morning with them, right? I'm very particular about breakfast. I'm very particular about lunch and what they take and whatnot. So that does take time as well.
Yeah.
And right now, groceries, there's certain groceries that I'm out, and I was like trying to figure it out this morning. Anyway, so I think it was all that played into my morning, feeling the way that I felt. I do feel better now, though, talking about it. And now that I'm here, I feel more settled. Things worked out the way that they were supposed to be. So
Yeah. I'm feeling stressed.
I'm sorry. I totally came in. I was like, and da-da-da-da, and I said this and da-da-da.
Oh, she came in swinging this morning. Swinging.
Not swinging. I was just kind of like, perhaps I wasn't as sensitive as I could have been.
But here's the yeah.
Yeah.
I and that's cool. Whatever.
Anyway, that was my morning. That's the reason why I'm on edge. And here we are. Now I actually feel better. Part of communication is talking about your feelings. Thank you. I feel the tension kind of like dissipate from my body.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't get it because you look like you're climbing up.
I'm protecting my body. Yeah. Normally when people feel in danger, they protect their vitals, and I'm just like,
He's like turtle formation.
I am. I'm so careful what I say. She's in arm's reach distance, and so Mike, if you're out there, please.
If anybody knows the intensity that that I have, it is him. But I have to say that I am way better than what I used to be.
You're good.
Yeah,
You're
personal
good.
development works, guys, because I am a different person now.
You're good. But I do want to. Before we move on to today's topic, I do want to revisit this whole thing.
Okay, what thing? What are we revisiting?
The whole about if you're stressed out or you're not in the right headspace, using we.
I wouldn't use we. It's depending. Like I think you're right. I think it's depending on the person who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have said to Mike, I'm being like, hey, you look upset. So I'm like, technically I am asking a question or maybe calling him out. So I guess I kind of get it in the way because I have said that. I don't know. You know your spouse best, right? I think it's depending on the person because there's somebody, like
I
certain people, I wouldn't say it that way.
I think this is important.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're here in the personal development space. And then, I mean, I think we need to figure it out only because.
So I'll give you an example. And I think you and I have talked about this. At one time I was at a church meeting. It was one of our early meetings. And I had said something that upset someone, right?
Okay.
And this person that was upset with me, the way that they were talking to me, it was like, you said this and you said that, and like started saying all these things, right?
Yeah.
And I realized at the point that even though I didn't intend them in the way that the person had taken them, I had to take a step back and just stay quiet at that point, right?
I agree.
After the meeting, I had an opportunity to actually go up to the person. So I went up to the person. Now, my choice of words were very careful because I did not say, hey, you look upset.
But again, that's going back to what I'm saying.
It's the tone.
It's the tone. It's the way you say it.
Yeah, but with this particular person, I would not have word anything with you because I feel like anything with you would have been very triggering. Because in all honesty, at church especially, we are all doing the best we can.
I remember the situation you're telling me.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it offline. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
If you would have gone up to that person and be like, in this tonality, right? It'd be like, okay, hey, Steve, right? I can see you're kind of upset, and it may be because of something that I said.
It's for sure because of what I said.
Right,
Yeah.
but hang on one second, right? But this is the thing is, right? If I'm not upset, and it's the wrong foundation, because if I'm going into if I'm going to go and talk to someone, and they're clearly upset, right? And then I calling it what it is, and so by the way that you said it is like, why are you upset, or you're upset and I'm not upset, and
It's the tone.
I think that's the wrong thing. But if you go up to a person and be like, listen, in this tone, right? I can see that you're upset, and I am so sorry. It's probably something that I said, or it may be something that I said, and I am completely sorry for if I've done or said anything to get you to and it's you're recognizing somebody's emotions, right?
Yeah, but that's a point A to a point B, right? Like,
Correct.
so the point A is recognizing the emotion, saying kind of you,
Right.
and then after is apologizing.
Right.
I think that
100%.
okay, so I guess I can see what you're saying. You would have to, if you are calling someone out, I do feel like there has to be a follow up.
And you're not calling, and this is the thing is, you're not calling somebody out to chastise them. You're not calling them to make them feel inferior. Inferior is below,
Yeah.
right? Superior is higher, inferior is below. So when you're calling somebody out, I believe that when you're calling someone out, you're not calling them out to make them feel worse than how they are. You're just calling out the situation. I can see that you're not in the right headspace, and I'm busy, right? So we're it's oil and water right now.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I have to go downstairs. You're busy, and I'm not getting angry with you. I know why you're busy, and I know why you're in that red headspace. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go our separate ways, rekindle this conversation when we're both in a better position to have this conversation, and then let's revisit it, right? And then I can give you the time that you're looking for, and then you're not as edged or as upset as you are, and then we can go from there. I'm not saying that this person's wrong. I'm not saying that this person sucks. I'm just highlighting that it's not me. And it's like it's a combination of both of us. So when I say I can see that we're upset, I think it's the
No, you wouldn't say it. Okay. Like that way, I guess I can see what you're saying.
yeah.
I don't know. You know, Tegan best. In this particular situation with this person that was really upset,
Yeah.
I feel like me coming in and saying,
And I cut you off. What did you say? I did cut you off. So what did you do with this person? Sorry, what did you
I acknowledged what had happened.
Yeah.
So I did go in and apologize him, because one of the thoughts that came when I saw this person very upset with me is that it doesn't matter what I said. What matters it's how it made the other person feel.
100%.
Right? Yeah. So I think that's something that we always have to think about. But I think with some communication tools, especially because there are communication tools that encourage us to use I statements instead of you statements. So I think
I have to hear those. Like I have to know what they are for me to.
We're working on literally that's one of the. Did you not read the
what?
The thing we're creating? There is a whole paragraph about I statements.
Yeah, no, I read it.
Okay. And so it makes me laugh that you're like, I don't believe in it. And I'm
I didn't say that. I have to hear what these I statements, maybe I read it wrong, but I have to hear what these I statements.
So I statements focus more on the action and how it makes you feel rather than more of being accusatory. When you come, not often,
Yeah.
I guess it's in the way that you say it, but when you are communicating, if you begin something with a you statement, it's more accusatory. If it's something with the I statement, is that this has happened, more factual, and then it gives how you received it. So usually people tend to put their guard down as opposed when you come with a you statement.
I agree with you there. Yeah, if you're coming into any conversation with like, you're to be blamed about what's happening right now, it's a dead
I think, in all honesty,
it's a dead startup, right?
I think for me, if Mike would have come in and said to me, you seem not to be in the right headspace for this conversation, we're going to come back and talk about this later, I personally would have been upset. So I think what you said would not have worked for me. But Tegan, right? And this is the thing with communication.
But I did use an I statement. I can see that you're upset.
So this works for him. This definitely would not work for me.
It's the way you say
it. Doesn't matter. I in my mind,
yeah.
I don't think it matters how gentle you are with a you statement. But that's me.
Well,
so
let's see what the audience says. Let's see what the audience says.
If you have comments, please let us know, because this is a way that we differentiate. Because coming in with Mike saying that, I think my original feeling would have been upset, even if I was not in the right headspace. Rather than him coming in saying, hey.
I think it's the tone, dude. I really
maybe.
do.
I guess we'll try it out. One day and we will let you know how it goes. Maybe. It might be, because if I'm already stressed, I'm already not in the right headspace, let's say, right? Because that is, and then for me, if Mike comes in and says, hey, I can see you're not in the right headspace right now, so let's talk about this later. I would have been like, of course I'm not in the right headspace. Do you not see everything that I'm doing? Like, I literally would have had that answer.
But hang on one second. So I think this leads me to another question. Who's at fault there? Because if
there's nobody at fault. I don't believe there's anybody at fault.
No. In a sense, not at fault. But who's the one that needs the fixing? Is it the person that said gently, "Hey, I can see that you're not ready to have this conversation. You're stressed out. You're not in the right headspace. Why don't we rekindle this conversation later on?" And then you get upset. Who needs the changing? Is it the person that's receiving the conversation or the person delivering the statement?
I think at this point you've engaged with the person. So I think, in my mind, what would work, I think if I was in that situation, if I was stressed out, I was getting all this stuff ready, and then Mike was trying to talk to me at the same time, and then he pointed out that I was not in the right headspace, I probably would have been annoyed. And then I don't know, because I'm honestly just working through this out in my mind. I think I would have gotten upset, being like, what, and you don't want to help me get stuff ready? Well, knowing that I'm not in the right headspace. But here's the thing as well. We have to talk about something that is called love languages. And my particular love language is acts of service. So if you notice that I'm not in the right headspace, you're pointing out that I'm not in the right headspace, but then you just... It's a different story, though, because you had stuff going on. So I guess maybe if he was like, hey, I guess at that point, if he would have been like, hey, I can see this is not the best time to talk, There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's reconnect again.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked for me,
Yeah.
as opposed to coming in with a comment like, you're not in the right headspace right now, so let's reconvene.
Yeah.
So those are my particular
Yeah.
thoughts.
And that's
so,
cool. No, that's cool.
Listen, Tegan is a saint. Like, in all honesty,
no,
this girl is a saint. I don't. How are you still married? Like,
My gosh. So this is when Mike will chime in and be like, Maria, that's too much.
I think he's in the meeting, so he might not be chiming in. I don't know. Usually he's on here, but he might be in a meeting. Anyway, those are my particular thoughts.
Yeah.
Let me know what your thoughts are, but that's exactly how I think we would be able to dissipate an argument and rather work towards.
Yeah. I think what's going on here is we are definitely talking about two apples and oranges. We're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing. When you I think when you hear, I can see that you're not in the headspace, you're hearing it as a jerk statement.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying it as an empathy statement.
That's not, to me, that's not an empathy
But
statement.
it's the way that you say it.
It doesn't matter, because an empathy statement, it would be something like, I can see how busy you are and how stressful that is. That's an empathy statement. And empathy is that you are.
I agree with that.
But
I agree
but
with that.
it's when you say you are not in the right headspace, that is not empathetic.
So now you're turning it into a jerk statement.
Okay,
right?
sorry. Let me say it gentle.
Okay.
You are not in the right headspace.
No, but I know, but that's not all that I said. I said, you're busy. I'm about to go in a meeting. Sorry. Hang on. All right. So I said, I didn't say, you're not in the headspace. I'm out.
I know.
I didn't say it like that.
Yeah. So you know what? And you're probably right. Like, it was a situation where you had to be there. There's a lot of things that happen that are related to tone, related to knowing the person, and all that.
Again,
just taking it as factual based on words of what was going on at the time, what was said. And I do get the fact that you were going into meetings.
Yeah, but
right?
and so I what I did was I described the entire environment as to why she's not in a good headspace and I can't continue engaging. Right? It was like, listen, I can see that you're busy. Word for word. This is exactly what happened, right? I can see that you're busy. You're running around. You're edgy. It's not your fault. I get it. But I can see that you're not in the right headspace to continue this conversation. I have to go downstairs. I cannot engage in this. I have to be in the right headspace because I'm about to go into this meeting. Why don't we just come back later on and whatever, right?
Listen, that's why we married the people that we did, because obviously they are understanding of our quirks.
I don't understand
That's why we married the people that we did. I just, in my mind, I don't know if I could honestly tell you that I wouldn't feel a way about saying it the way.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly, like, just being honest,
Yeah,
right?
no, and I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're fighting.
No, because I'm like, I would have worded it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it differently, but that's the beauty of it, right? Everybody's so different. So you find what things that work for you. When someone's feelings do get hurt, don't be afraid to say sorry.
Yeah.
And you work through it and you move on.
I agree.
So we interpret things differently. And it kind of makes sense too. You're a guy, I'm like a girl.
Yeah.
And the way that we see it is different. With men, things are more logical, point A to point B to point C. With women, there's a lot more emotion.
I just did a workshop on Friday, but talking about like the brainwaves between men and women. And men
makes sense.
Men think front to back,
Okay.
which is so they think front. So the full thing is we got a left side and a right side.
Okay.
Men's brain are bigger. It doesn't mean we're smarter. It just means that more empty space, right? So men's brain are bigger, and then the center. The center part that connects the brains together, that's a corpus callosum, and the female corpus callosum is it's thicker, right? It's bigger, it's thicker. Now, why is that important? And I want you to think about like how left and right is. If you look at a let me just turn this thing. This keeps going down. If you take a look at if you look at the highway, the 401 or any highway, whatever, if you have 6 lanes, how much information is going to get through there?
Okay.
How much cars are going to get through a 6-lane highway?
Okay.
If you have a 6-lane highway, but only 2 lanes are open, how many cars can get through?
Okay.
Right? And so the communication between left and right brain, The corpus callosum is the bridge between both hemispheres. The woman's corpus callosum is much thicker. So that means that they're able to access left and right much better and much faster than the males because our corpus callosum is much smaller. Having said that, the right side is emotion, creativity, and all that feely, goody things, whatever. The left side is more logical. The maths, the science, point A, point B, right? And our brains, how they work, they're both active, but our brain waves are front to back. And front is observation. The back is reaction.
Okay.
There's a car coming, you move out of the way. There's a moose coming, and we're hunting. We need to be reactive.
Okay.
Right? Females' brains, because of the corpus callosum, they work left to right.
Okay.
Right? So before making a decision, there's an emotion attached to it.
Yes. I 100% agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So before, again, you observe.
Listen, this is why women are excellent caregivers and nurturers.
100%.
Right?
And
Like,
this has nothing to do with being sexist or whatever. If you take a look at, and sorry to interrupt it, but if you take a look at the jobs out there, right?
Yep.
More jobs are teachers are female.
Yep.
Not because it's closed off to males and there's more opportunity to female. This is by choice.
Same thing with nursing.
And
Nursing,
100%.
like a majority of the profession is female based, right?
Right.
So
Right. And it has nothing to do with like, the work industry is sexist and they only hire female or they only hire male.
no, actually, if you are a male teacher, you can get a job easier than a female.
Yeah. And so this has to do with personal choice. So the workspace out there, a lot of the workspace out there is because of personal choice, right? And so teachers, being teachers, because of personal choice, more female go into a teaching degree or nursing because of that right side being so active. And so it's all about caregiving. Versus sometimes the science, you'll see more male, right? Because of the logical, the engineering.
Mike is an engineer. I went to his graduation. I kid you not, there was like 5 girls at his graduation.
Yeah.
Not because it's not accessible to girls. Actually, for girls, there is a portion that is a little bit easier, I think, to access it because, again, the profession is so male dominated.
Yeah.
But again, it's just the natural differences
But
that we have.
it has nothing to do with like, well, the schools only accept males. No, this is by choice.
Yeah.
More males choose to go into engineering. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to promote more females because I think it's important to have more females in the industry. But even though that there's more opportunities, even though that there's more incentives to bring in more female engineers, more females, and not 100%, right? But more females do choose a caregiving workspace. And so now when you hear something, right? And this is what was just happening right now. When you hear something, so the front is observation, the back is reactive. So when you see something, you attach an emotion. So when I say, I can see.
It's funny because when you told me the story, I was kind of like, what did she say?
Exactly.
I was like, that was my first interaction, like
Exactly.
my first response, as opposed to you just telling me the story and kind of going from point A to point B.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And so I can, when I was describing the environment, I can see that this is not again, the observation is this is not the environment to continue this conversation. You're busy. I'm busy. Then the reaction is let's separate and then come back when we're both good. I can see that you're not in the right headspace. Your reaction is like, you said I'm not in the right. What emotion? Well, I'm angry. What did the mother-in-law say? It's because of your mother. And so we have all of these emotions attached to it, and then it's all about the nail.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that video so much. Anyway, let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of our actual.
Mike says Saint Tegan all the way. Listen,
I'm telling you,
I don't appreciate this.
Saint Tegan. If we were Catholic, she would be a saint. That's what I'm saying. This girl, like.
No.
Yeah, she is. She had 7 kids with you.
So what does that have to do with anything?
She's married to you. Some of your kids are like you. She created mini yous.
Thanks for joining us. This is our episode for today. I am out. That's it.
I
am
just want to say Tegan is
done.
amazing. She
I
is
am-
a saint.
I am done.
But she also knows her husband, so I can understand how their conversations
Well,
would differ than Mike and I's conversations.
So yes and no, and I also have to be mindful because I do have.
She is a saint.
No.
Yes,
no,
you need to appreciate this woman more than what you already do. Appreciate. I would like honestly.
Again, going back to what I'm saying, I understand everything that's going on, and what I'm saying is I have to be more aware of
Feelings?
yes, the right side, because my interactions are not just males. Because if this was having a conversation with another guy, this would not be
No, Mike would like any other guy would totally understood where you're coming from.
right.
And even when Tegan is asking you, like, be mindful of your tone, is because your tone is creating a feel, right? So I'm sure that you've improved so much. I mean, I'm worried that.
So David Yulo says, I mean, she can still call herself Saint, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Thanks.
She is a saint. She
Yeah.
is a saint.
Yeah, and then Ulysses, he says Team Miguel. Like he sees it. He sees it. Like listen. Before I get into more trouble, before I get canceled,
Oh, we're having an honest conversation. It was a good conversation. It was just, you know what? It highlights the difference between, I think, men and women.
oh, 100%.
Right? And then how a situation can be seen so differently by you and so differently by me. And you're right. For me, it's based on like, how does
Emotions.
she feel? Yeah, because that was my biggest thing. I was like, how does she feel? Like, how does she take what you said? Right? As opposed to you being like, I made an observation. I let her know. And then we reconvene later. That was literally like, your story was like, we went from point A, which was the situation. I, highlighted the situation. And then she became aware. And then point C was that when I talked to her, we were in better like headspaces.
So let me give you this other example. I know that we're past it already, but let me. I really.
I'm like, seriously, man. We've been like 39 minutes talking about
That's
this.
fine. This is healthy, dude. This actually relates to today's topic.
Okay.
And I'll tell you afterwards, right? So I met with someone, actually a couple,
Okay.
and the husband did something that was very insignificant. Let's just say the action was I have this water bottle in front of me, right? And I'm going to take this water bottle now, and I am going to put it right here between us.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I don't want the water in front of me. I don't want the water in front of between me and the camera. I want to access it with my left because I hold with my left and I uncork with my right. So for me, the logical is it makes more sense putting it here. You see this action as what the frick? Why do you want something between us? What are you trying to say? Let's say we're a couple, right? Is this a symbolism for what putting walls between us and whatever? Why can't you just leave it there? I want to see your full body and all these different things, right? And he's like, no, like it's just a water bottle, and I want to be able to access it with my left, right? Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing is, right? Obviously, this wasn't the example, but this is a very similar example to actually what happened. Yeah. Okay. His mind, the logic was like, no, I just want it on the left. Your action was, well, what the freak, right? Here's when we started discussing why this was so important, it actually triggers back to something that happened almost 10 years ago. And in his mind, this means nothing. I'm just it's just a water bottle. And I just wanted to have it accessible to my left, right? For the person, this very same thing triggers something that happened 10 years ago. And so this person sees this as an act of, I don't want to say an act of violence, but an act of disrespect. So she goes off. Okay. Like off, right? Whatever. And he was not very sensitive to the situation. So then he goes off, right? And he's laughing. He's like, this is just stupid. This means nothing, right? And so I think this is what and I was watching this unfold, and I was like, okay, it's very interesting. Like, I mean, our when it comes to communication, they're both sides cannot just see what they see and take it for face value. There's deeper things in here, and
It's
we
like an iceberg, right?
and
Like
we-
you see the outside, you see the peak, but
and we
you don't
have
see
to be
everything on the
sensitive.
bottom.
We have to be sensitive to each other's feelings. You have to be sensitive in the sense of like, okay, I didn't mean it as a disrespect. Just relax, calm down, chill, right? And I have to be like,
Can you imagine
Well, I'm
a
not-
woman here?
I-
Just relax, chill. I didn't mean it like that.
I wouldn't say that per se.
What would you say? How would you say in a sensitive way? What would be the way that you'd say it in a sensitive way?
So
I can see
let-
that putting this water bottle agitated you,
yeah.
and to that I apologize.
First of all, I wouldn't say it like that. No, first of all, you're
No.
you're
Let me make it into a kinder way. I can see that I triggered an emotion that I'm not sure what you're feeling by putting my water bottle here. So I'm sorry.
why are you making me out to be like a jerk? Like this is.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
don't
so sorry.
talk like that.
It's so true. He is actually very, very like you and I have had difficult conversations, and you've always been very caring. So
Yes.
I do want to highlight that.
What
I just
the freak, dude? This. I do not talk like that ever.
okay. So
So what would I have said to answer your question?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay. First of all, if you snap at me because of whatever, I'd be like, listen, I'm not in the red head space right now to carry this conversation because I'm starting to get angry and agitated.
yeah.
I need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I need, and I'm a big believer. Like,
You work it out.
no, well, I'm a big believer that if there's fire, you're not going to run inside the house,
Yeah.
right? To figure out what happened, right?
You can't treat fire with fire.
I'm
You
an
can't
a-
extinguish fire with more fire.
Yeah, I'm an analyzer, right? This is one of the reasons why I do what I do is I love analyzing situations. If there's behavioral issues, let's break it down. Let's try and figure out what happened. But you're not gonna do like I mean,
Yeah.
a firefighter when they come to a house, one of the first things that they have to put on the report is how it started.
Yeah.
You're not gonna figure that out while the house is burning.
Yeah. You gotta wait till it.
You got to put out the fire first, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're snapping at me, my Latino reactions, I want to snap back.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm starting to feel like, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, listen, I can feel myself getting agitated. I can feel myself getting angry. You're not in the right headspace right now. We cannot engage in this. I need to go to the gym, and then we're gonna come back and talk about this. When I come back and be like, okay, why did this upset you, right? And so then and then I would ask questions. I would start asking probing questions.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, why is it? But and so that's what I did, right? And so I was like, I started asking probing questions and be like, just try and get. And then we uncovered why this is so triggering for you, right? And then I would be like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll never do that again. Here you go. I apologize, but I need you to understand. Right?
Yeah.
That I didn't mean it as a disrespect. So if I'm going to meet you halfway to move it here, I also need you to meet me halfway.
Self-awareness,
and,
right?
and understand that I didn't take it as an act of violence. I didn't do it as an act. So I would make sure that I would apologize, but I would need you to meet me halfway and just recognize that I didn't do it as an act of violence.
Yeah, I totally get that.
So
No, I totally get that.
that's my thing. And according to Maria, that's
No.
I'm a jerk face for saying it or doing it.
No, I think I think as you were talking about this situation, I told you I'm reading this book about managing anger. It is an incredible book. So it talked about factual anger and distorted anger. So factual anger is somebody actually has committed a sin against you. Like somebody cheated on you, somehow they were dishonest, someone stole, like is an actual thing. And then there's process in order to be able to work through that, right? But I never knew until recently there's something called distorted anger. And that distorted anger is something that comes through maybe you're feeling fatigued, maybe you've had a hard day, maybe you are hungry, or maybe it's triggering some newfound emotions from your childhood.
Yeah.
Right? So basically that's exactly what was going on, right? And I think it's important, like you said, when you discovered it with this couple and you explored it, then this particular person was able to be more aware of it, because at that time she probably wasn't even aware of it.
Yeah.
She just felt the emotion. She saw the action, felt the emotion, but didn't actually stop to ask, like, okay, what is going on here? Why do I feel the way that I felt?
Well, here's the thing: is she knew, and then, she didn't know how to express it to him to get him to realize. So in that part, it was him. It was bad on him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't listening, and he just couldn't figure out why is this water bottle so triggering, right?
Yeah.
So she couldn't in her anxiety and her anger, she
couldn't
couldn't
verbalize.
verbalize why this is so triggering. And so, and she tried to, but it did make things worse. But then he didn't try to hear the words. And again, it was just communication, right? Like,
Yeah.
she wasn't saying the right things and he wasn't hearing the right things, right?
Yeah.
And so it was both of them. And then
We totally need to do a segment on anger. I'm like, we need to explore it, dive deep in it, talk about it. I love this topic, just mostly because I've just learned about it.
mostly because you're a very angry person.
Oh, please. If anything, I have been able to work through my anger so much quicker now. So much. I realize when certain things are triggering for me, and then there's a 6-step process in order to be able to work through your anger, which I've been following.
No, you haven't.
Life-changing. 100% I have.
No, you
Listen,
haven't.
my household, that's Mike. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I am trying to do better because this is, okay, being honest here. And one of the things that it's kind of cool is that our actual topic today was sharing personal stories.
So
right?
remember I told you, this is
Yeah.
it. This is exactly what we're doing.
So, stories connect people. Stories help you to get to know somebody else.
Yeah.
It helps you to learn and to progress on your journey, right? So here's my own personal story. I have tendencies of a bad temper. So my dad, I totally do. And listen, you haven't seen anything. My dad had difficulties handling his anger.
I shouldn't be laughing.
Man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Great man. He had a hard childhood. He lost his mom when he was 17 years old. He never met his dad, and then he didn't have a close relationship with his family. And then he met my mom. They got married, and he tried to do the best he could. But one of the things that he had was his emotions. Like he truly tried to do his best, but sometimes that anger would just bubble up. Now here we are. Sometimes genetics do play a role into it, and I inherited that. Okay. And even my Joey has inherited that, right? Because I can see it. But here's
Joey's the one that was going to beat up that kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know, right? Now you know.
You sent the right kid or the wrong kid.
No, my Joey has like the biggest heart, right?
Yeah.
But you recognize the way that my dad would handle his anger sometimes is that he would do silent treatments, right? He just didn't know how to, process his anger. So he would go through periods of time where he wasn't talking. Like I remember this one particular Christmas, he didn't talk to me. Literally came over for dinner and did not talk to me, right? So we worked it out, it was okay by the end of the day, but this is something that I also inherited. So when Mike and I were early on in our relationship, I had a lot of ways that I would handle anger the same way that my dad did, right? Anyway, it has been through personal development that I've been able to notice what my tendencies are and provide tools for it. Because it doesn't mean, just because you notice them, it doesn't mean that it's completely gone, right?
Right.
So, one of my things is, lately, one of my things that I've been doing is that when I feel like anger is bubbling, I let my kids know. Like if I'm feeling impatient and something's about to happen, I don't just snap. I say, hey guys, I'm becoming impatient. So
I remember you telling me this.
Here, choose your actions wisely. But you know what? It makes it into an environment where my kids don't see me blow up randomly, where they're happy doing their own thing, and all of a sudden I'm blowing up because they're like, "Hey, mom gave us a warning. I will give you a warning, right?"
Mom is about to explode.
Listen,
choose
I tell
your
them,
next words
and
carefully.
sometimes I recognize that is not them the reason. Sometimes I'm like, "Hey guys, I've had a hard day. This is going on. It has nothing to do with you, but I feel on edge, right?" And they're great. They're like, okay, kind of thing, right? Another thing that I've been able to do is use my words a lot better. I was not able to use my words before as good, right? Anyway, so then it's helped me to communication and being able to be honest with Mike, being able to apologize, being able to take that moment, like you said, one of the things that you said is that if you are angry, you can't fight anger with anger.
Yeah.
That's usually what I used to do in the past. I used to if Mike was upset with me, I'd be more angry, right?
Yeah.
Or if I was really upset and he wasn't upset, I would be even more angry, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to now, one of the things is realizing the feeling that I'm having, accepting the feeling for what it is. Anger is part of the human experience. And what I've learned is that anger is not a bad thing because it propels you to like to do an action. But here's when it becomes a bad thing, is based on the choices that you do. So if you're like seeking vengeance, or you're like seeking to make somebody feel worse or hurt somebody, then that's where the problem is. But if you take a moment to acknowledge your anger, you step away, like you said, right? You take a moment to clear your thoughts as long as it takes. And then you come in and you analyze your anger. You're like, okay, why am I feeling this way? And then you create tools in order to work through that anger. The point of my story, in reality, now that I have these tools, I've been able to teach it to Joey as well, right? So he can manage his anger and those feelings that he has a lot better. But that is the importance of sharing personal stories. Because Raquel came up to me one time and she was in tears and she's like, Joey said this to me and it was really mean. Raquel barely even cries. I think I've only, like, aside when she was a baby, I only saw her cry like once more because her friend was moving, and then this other time because Joey had been mean to her, right? But and then when I talked to him, we talked about Papa. We talked about how he handled his anger. We talked about the fact that he didn't have the tools that we have. And now I get to share those tools with him. But now he understood why I was sharing those tools with him, because there was a story. There was a personal story attached to it. And there was a personal story about him. There was a personal story about me. And now here are the tools of what I want to kind of help you navigate as you continue to get older. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what the point of my story was. I hope I tied it in somehow. Sometimes I just talk. I tell Mike I am rich in words.
So now that hey, Vanessa's here.
Hey, girl, good to see you.
So now that she's done her TED Talk,
I've been missing out on doing TED Talks. So you're welcome, people. You're welcome. Just kidding.
Maria talks. Maria gave a talk at your ward.
When?
This is years ago. Mike was telling it, or you guys were telling us. And how you took like 20, 30 minutes and the other person was just like still waiting.
My gosh, yes. Seriously. As
a bishop, I'd be like,
I should have checked the time. Now I'm more mindful. And Mike was like, didn't you see me? I was like, no, I was doing my thing. Technically, my talk was supposed to be 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure I took 25 minutes. When the person got up, he was like, he's like, I'm not going to have any time to say anything, but I guess I'll just read this part. And then he finished. I was like,
how did you feel?
I was like,
because you got that literally, you just got called out in front of the entire congregation. Seriously,
I had to take it. It was true. I took it.
That is too funny. So in our church, members feed members, right? And spiritually.
We are a church of volunteers.
And then every Sunday, everybody has so it's not just one person, one pastor
doing a sermon
every single Sunday. It's not just one person, but it's every member has an opportunity to study something and then bring their findings and then share it to the entire congregation.
Yeah, we learn together, right? They learn and then we learn what they learn.
100%, right? And that's the best way to learn is to study it out. And so by asking a member to prepare a talk or a subject, at the end of the day, that person's going to get more out of it than anybody else. Anywho, she was asked to give a talk. And
I talk a lot.
And
seriously.
so they normally, when we ask a member to talk, we tell them, okay, we have 3 other speakers or 2 other speakers. We're allotting 10 minutes. We're allotting 12 minutes. We're allotting 15 minutes. We'll prepare the program. We only have an hour congregation.
That's why now I'm the last speaker.
Yeah. So Maria was asked to give a talk and she was told you have 12, 15 minutes. How many other speakers were there?
Just one, I believe.
Then
maybe there was one before me. I don't know.
Then it would have been 12 minutes. Okay. So if it's 3, it's normally 12. If it's 2, it's normally 15, right? Yeah. With an intermediate hymn. So she was told anywhere between 12 and 15. She took 25.
Seriously, I that was one of my moments, I needed to be aware of that so I can grow. And something similar happened too recently when Mike and I were doing a presentation. And I was like, all right, babe. I'm like, Mike, you want to close? And he's like, no, you go ahead. I literally talked in circles for like 5 minutes. He's like looking, I'm like, he's like, why did you talk so long? All I needed to say was in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. I did not say that. Let me tell you, this youth got an extra like 5 or 7 minutes of me reiterating the same thing like 20 different times.
Yeah, I know. I was aware. I used to do that. I used to say something. I would back it up. Like I like backing my statements. I don't want people thinking, oh, this guy's just making things up. And so I say a statement. I tell a story. I back it up. I come back, and I'm like, and this is why this original statement.
Yeah.
But here's another story. And where this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. So that's why.
And then there's another story.
And then there's another story. And that goes to.
So.
I ate chips this morning. Sorry about that.
That's so gross.
And so I had chips, and I had to. There was this, and so then this, and then this, and what. And anyways, so I've been recording my workshops.
That's the way that you can improve, right?
Huge.
So I guess to tie it in back to personal stories, when you are sharing those personal stories, just ensure that you don't go on a tangent.
Make sure it's just one. All you need is just one.
Don't go on a tangent.
Don't.
Your especially if you're trying to communicate with your kids don't need to get the whole journey. Just make it something relatable, something that you've gone through, and then just share it. Share it with no expectation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, should I reiterate the same thing 3 different ways? Let me just end it up there.
Yeah, and sometimes there will be a need for a second story, but then you got to make sure that you ask, did you understand?
Or
and,
if they're asking a question, only proceed if they're asking questions.
Yeah, and so, and did you understand what I was trying to say? It was like, well, not really. Okay, here's another story, right? Change it up and whatever. So, I do a workshop called Leak, right? Take a leak.
I think so. I think you've told me.
So 5 steps to communication, or no, conflict resolution.
Yeah.
And it's listen, empathize.
Empathize the way that you say.
No, empathize.
You seem to be not in your right mind.
No. Yeah, that's part of empathy, dude. I can see that you're stressed out.
Okay.
I understand why you're stressed out. And you know what? Here's the thing. I did leak on Tegan and it worked.
Yes. He leaked on Tegan and it worked.
I did a leak on Tegan and it worked.
There you go.
So leak, it's a 5-step process to conflict resolution. Anytime that you're engaging with somebody and you are stressing with them, or like you're not being able to see eye to eye, there's a 5-step process to, again, conflict resolution. L is listen. You just have to listen to what they're saying. E is empathize. Just be like, okay, I can see why you're stressed out, or I can see why you're angry.
Highlight the emotion.
Highlight the emotion, right? I can see it. And try and put yourself in that position. A, accept the fact that you might be wrong, right? So it's a humbling step.
Yeah.
Right. And just be like, okay, I can see, I might be wrong here. C is communicate. So if you want to continue engaging is do the statement again, but find a different way of doing it. Because chances are, if you're talking to them and they're angry, and maybe they're angry because they don't see your point of view, or maybe they don't see the whole picture. So communicate again, engage in conversation again, but just change the words. And then the last C is compromise. If at the end of the day, they can't see what you're seeing and you can't see what they're seeing, is meet in the middle. That's what I did with Tegan, and it worked. I listened to her. I empathize. I can see that you're stressed out. You're not in the right headspace.
Yes. We should get a shirt for you that just says, you're not in the right headspace.
You are not in the right headspace, right? I can see that. You know what? Why don't we, and I'm busy as well. I can't give you the attention that you're looking for. I'm about to go engage in a positive, whatever. Let's reconvene. Let's come back together, and then let's talk about whatever, and let's see if we can meet in the middle. And that's exactly what happened.
It worked for them, so
it works for everybody.
It works.
It worked. No. I don't want this thing to be to you. I don't want people out there think that this is a one-time. This works for everybody.
It does work for everybody. The only thing that I would be cautious of doing is the you statement.
100%.
Just be cautious about that.
Be very cautious, because if you don't say it correctly, if there's any smirk or any jerk towards that conversation, it destroys the entire thing.
It's going to blow up in your face.
It is going to blow.
So,
and that I agree with.
Yeah,
100%.
so just be cautious with, if you're going to say you something, just be mindful of what you're saying.
And then just to reiterate or compliment what she's saying, if you're about to say a you statement and you see that like it's not working, like it blew up in your face and backfires, don't double down. like don't
accept defeat.
Yeah, just be like,
just move on to the next one. You accept that you might be wrong.
Yeah, if I was to tell Maria, like, I can see that you're not in the right. What did you say to me? Listen, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I should not have said that. And just, dude, back the truck. right?
Back it up.
Back it up.
Beep.
Yeah.
Beep.
From now, that's what I'm gonna do. If I can start to see that this is starting to get heated, I'm just gonna go, Maria, beep, beep.
You gotta do that.
beep,
Beep. Beep.
Just relax, Maria.
Relax. Yeah.
That,
That's it.
That's
That's it
it?
from us, guys.
that's all we
it.
have.
Let's not go around in circles with the same stories.
With the same exact stories. So Maria, your takeaway. What did you learn?
My takeaway is that communication can look different. That is my takeaway. And that Tegan's insane. What's your takeaway?
My takeaway that I'm looking for a new host. I want a new best friend because this partnership here is not working.
It's on fire.
This is my eyebrows are singed. That's the thing. That's my takeaway. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this works. And I would love for you to follow us right here on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe to all of our YouTube channels or all of our whatever. So that when we go live, you can check us out every Mondays at 10 a.m.
Absolutely. Have a great week.
We still got 10 seconds.
Oh.
We still... the countdown is right there.
I think we should make it shorter. Anyway, we're there.
Get a minute, don't know. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your.
I sure gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. You yourself when no one's to be found. What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind? Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Take the time to recognize it.